It is a gray morning in West Baltimore in the fall of 1969. Row houses stand shoulder to shoulder, their stoops damp from overnight rain. A school bell echoes down a narrow street lined with parked cars and bare trees. Inside one brick building, a classroom is arranged for a day that will not begin. By the time the first students arrive, their teacher will be missing. Baltimore in the late 1960s carries steady neighborhood rhythm alongside visible social change. Protests move through downtown corridors. Economic shifts alter blocks that once felt permanent. Institutions that once went unquestioned begin facing scrutiny. Parish churches anchor corners. Catholic schools sit within walking distance. Families move between them with familiarity, trusting the same doors and the same faces year after year. On November 7, 1969, 26-year-old Catherine Cesnik, a teacher at Archbishop Keough High School, leaves her apartment to run errands. She tells her roommate she plans to visit the bank and buy a gift. She takes her purse and steps outside. She does not return. As evening approaches, friends and family begin calling local stores, the bank, and eventually police. The Baltimore Police Department begins canvassing the route between her apartment and a nearby shopping center. Parking lots are checked. Bus stops are observed. A missing person report is filed. Her photograph appears in the Baltimore Sun. An image replaces presence. 2 months later, on January 3, 1970, a hunter discovers her body in a wooded area in Lansdowne, in neighboring Baltimore County. The site sits near residential roads, yet feels secluded, bordered by brush and uneven ground. The search transforms into a crime scene. Baltimore County Police assume control of the investigation. Detectives mark the ground, photograph evidence, and recover items found nearby. The case shifts from disappearance to homicide. A teacher becomes a headline. Students at Archbishop Keough speak about her in hallways. Parents discuss safety during parish gatherings. The city absorbs the news as both personal loss and public event. Investigators reconstruct her final known movements. Bank records confirm she withdrew money. Witnesses recall seeing a woman matching her description at a shopping center. A parking lot becomes a fixed coordinate in the timeline. After that, the trail thins. There are no eyewitnesses to an abduction. No clear suspect emerges. The file grows without resolution. In the early 1970s, conversations begin circulating among former students of Archbishop Keough High School. They speak privately about alleged SA by a priest associated with the school. One name surfaces repeatedly: Father Joseph Maskell. Maskell served as a chaplain and counselor. His position gave him access to students and families. Over time, former students describe experiences that move beyond isolated misconduct and suggest a broader pattern of abuse. Years later, some of these former students file civil lawsuits against the Archdiocese of Baltimore. Depositions and interviews document allegations of coercion and silence. Among those accounts, one former student, John Hargadon Vayner, states publicly that Maskell showed her Cathy Cesnik's body shortly after the unaliving and threatened her to prevent disclosure. The statement reshapes the narrative. An allegation arrives decades after the crime. Baltimore County Police reopen aspects of the investigation in the 1990s. Detectives review archived materials. They interview former students. They revisit physical evidence from 1970. Maskell denies involvement in the homicide. In 1994, before any criminal charges are filed against him, he dies. The potential legal pathway narrows. The homicide remains unsolved. The city continues its routine. Neighborhoods surrounding Archbishop Keough evolve. Enrollment declines. The school eventually closes in 2017. The building remains, repurposed and passed by rather than entered. The case does not disappear from memory. In 2016, a documentary series brings national attention back to Catherine Cesnik's case and the allegations tied to Archbishop Keough. Interviews with former students air alongside archival photographs and maps of late 1960s Baltimore. The exposure generates renewed interest. Baltimore County Police receive additional tips. Detectives announce continued review of the case file. New interviews are conducted. Old evidence is re-examined using updated forensic methods. No one is charged with Catherine Cesnik's unaliving. The official record spans decades. Missing person reports from November 1969. Autopsy findings from January 1970. Interview transcripts from the 1990s. Civil filings connected to allegations of abuse. Statements issued after renewed public attention. The documents show procedure. They do not show the empty desk in a classroom where students waited for a teacher who did not return. They do not record the silence that can settle over an institution when allegations surface years after the fact. Baltimore maintains its pace. Buses travel familiar routes. Church bells continue to mark Sundays. Families move into row houses that predate the case and remain long after it. The wooded area in Lansdowne changes gradually. Trees mature, paths shift. The precise location where Catherine Cesnik was found blends into surrounding landscape. The case file remains open. The date, November 7th, 1969, remains fixed in police records. Former students continue speaking about their experiences. Journalists continue revisiting archived testimony. Legal scholars reference the case when examining institutional accountability and delayed allegations. The city holds both timelines at once, one rooted in a missing teacher and an unsolved homicide. The other in allegations that expanded beyond a single crime scene into classrooms and courtrooms. What remains is not a concluded prosecution. It is a set of unanswered questions carried across generations. A name that continues to circulate through interviews, legal filings, and community memory. And a morning in West Baltimore when a classroom was prepared for a day that never began.